Welcome back. This is Malfunction, and you're listening to the GeekOut show here on Beagle Radio, 88.1 FM. Whangarei wide, only in the city, the only 1K limited station here based at 116 Bank Street in the old church building. Today with me, as I mentioned earlier on, we've got Jade Morgan. It is Jade Morgan, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's Jade Morgan from NorthTec Applied Arts, and we're going to be discussing stuff with our graduating students. This is like the third year, isn't it? Or is it the second year?
This is a mixture of third year and second year here today.
So you've got a first year, third year and second years graduating.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself first.
Okay, so I've been, work-wise, I've been working at NorthTec for about 10 years, and I originally started on the diploma of digital media production, in digital multimedia production, and then we changed it into digital arts, so now we're doing the bachelor's of applied arts, digital arts, and myself, I'm an artist. I do digital media, and my passion is glitch art, the internet, digital culture, all of that kind of stuff, digital graphics. And
what is glitch art?
So glitch art is basically working with error. Instead of saying, oh God, look at that big error, it's about capturing a glitch as it happens and using that as art. So that can be done a number of ways. It could be a static screenshot, or it could be using some type of device and using it as video art.
It's quite interesting because a lot of times when people see a mistake, they think, well, we're going to chuck that away and make something better of it, or move on to the next thing. So how do you go through that process for yourself, where you see something, like say, what we consider, or someone else would consider a mistake, and then take that static, or take that photo that's got a bit of something on it wrong with it, and how do you process that through to completion?
Okay, so if I was doing, say, a still image, basically I would kind of like take a screenshot, and I would probably take like maybe 20, 30, 40 different screenshots until I find the one that is absolutely, this is it. And the thing with the glitch art is it reveals something beneath the image. I feel like it almost captures the essence of what is happening beneath the surface that we don't always see, that this is maybe the true essence of it.
It kind of reminds me of like old paintings by, I think it was Van Gogh, or some of the masters they have had new ideas and they've repainted and gone over their previous paintings, and so what they've done now is they've been able to reveal it through the process of cleaning things up and finding amazing, masterful pieces of work that weren't there before.
Yeah.
And so that's quite interesting that you could take that and what people would consider mistakes, but actually turn it into art. And for me, I mean, like with myself, if you see something wrong, I process it until it's right, whereas you work the other way. You see, where it's wrong, you process it until it's wrong, and then perfect.
Exactly. And
so it's quite interesting.
It is very much a process. I would consider it a type of process art.
So you've got you had a recent exhibition. Recently, there was an exhibition, or am I wrong?
No, I didn't have a recent one, but I am currently exhibiting work down at Megan Dickinson Gallery as part of the women's suffragette stuff, Trailblazers, that's on. I think it's about to close soon, but there's a new one coming up, and I've just been invited to exhibit some work in that as well.
Excellent.
So that's I'm not too sure about what that one is all about, but she's kind of shoulder tapped me and said, hey, I want some of your work for that. And I'm like, yep, can
excellent.
do.
So that's at Rustab, isn't it, Megan Dickinson Gallery?
Yes, it is.
All right, that's by the bridge, if I remember right. It's the railway bridge. So introduce your students to me, to our listeners.
Okay, so we have Guillaume. So Guillaume
Step
here
up, bro.
he's in his third year. He's doing the third year of the Bachelors of Applied Arts,
Yep.
Visual Arts, and they've got an exhibition that's coming up very soon on the 14th of November at the Jeff Wilson Gallery. So this is their end of show, their graduation exhibition, and here is Guillaume.
All right, Guillaume's an amazing painter, and his work is very, I would say, very fine art orientated, but very fantastical. So what we consider as fine art is realism, and sometimes, I guess, what's the other word I'm looking for, Jade?
Fantasy?
No, not fantasy. You know, like is it Matisse with like spots and? Oh man, I hate it when my brain just goes blank. I can picture it. Tell us about your work anyway.
Yeah, so what a lot of people know my work to be would be paintings. I do a lot of paintings that people recognize, but I draw a lot as well. And yeah, it's mostly stuff that I'm interested in. I like the act of drawing and getting ideas on paper and finding a way to illustrate things that I'm thinking of. And yeah, that's usually what'll come out, and because I'm into like movies and fantasy sort of stuff. That's what a lot of the stuff that I draw and illustrate turn out to be. Yeah.
So I mean, some of your creatures are quite amazing, and I think that's something that really caught my eye was actually watching the melding of from one thing to another, and I find that's the hardest thing is to actually, and as you look at the European comic artists that came into work for Star Wars and brought a whole lot of ideas that they learnt in Europe into the Star Wars in the 1960s, the 70s, and you could recognize that it was way back from them. Now, the process of, with your work, you're taking your imagination and make it a part of a drawing and then putting into another format where you're painting them. And it's different to where they look like they're graphic art, but they become to what we consider what is supposedly fine art, where you're actually painting them, but they're still graphic art, fine art. It's not like there's this huge melding of the two rather than just one part here and one part here.
Yeah, I get that it's a bit of both, a bit of fine art and a bit of fantastic art, and yeah, it's all stuff that I enjoy. I like both. So what a lot of my work will end up being would be a bit of both, and yeah, that's it.
So you said you were influenced by movies and stuff. So what other influences did you have when prior? I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 21.
All right,
I'm 21 now,
and so how long have you been painting?
Painting, I've been painting since year 11 or year 10 in high school. Yeah, just started art class, and that's where I first started painting. But drawing, I've been drawing since, I don't know, it's kind of like a childhood thing where you just always been doing it, I suppose. And yeah, it's always been something that I've liked, and it's very yeah, it's a personal thing for me. So yeah.
So what made you go into painting those drawings?
I liked the idea of giving my drawings a bit of color and a bit of life, because that's what I think the color will do with a drawing. Because usually when I draw, it's not always in color, and painting was a good way to make it an illustration, like a colored illustration, which I enjoyed a lot.
Because I've watched, like I've seen your drawings and I've seen your paintings where the paintings become more three-dimensional, whereas like the drawings themselves are quite flat because they're just pencil work or pen work. But the actual colouring style becomes a three-dimensional. So they actually feel like they're actual real creatures on that canvas or whatever format you put them on, or platform you put on, and they become so real. You know, there's something like you'd think that's out of my dream. You know, you'd want to see that in the film. You know, and as we've seen the Shape of Water recently, and a lot of your work looks quite realistically like that. So you could imagine this work. I mean, I could imagine this work either as a animated series or a movie, and so you know, and you could base that around the creatures from that. And I mean, you've got Heavy Metal, the magazine that's been around since the 60s or 70s.
Heavy Metal,
you know, and so all the European artists have been putting out stuff in that magazine forever, and it's still there and still doing really well. But you know, you could see all the stuff, and they've actually, with Heavy Metal, they've actually put out shows based on their stuff, animated off the graphic stories that are in there, and I can see that happening with your work, and I think it's really cool that you've been able to, you know, carry that through from childhood drawings to paintings at school, and I mean, you know, and so on, and here you are at 21 with all this final pieces of work, you know, you'd say, and you've got exhibition coming up soon with Jeff Wilson, but your own.
I am looking. I'm looking to exhibit my stuff after the final graduation exhibition, because I do have quite a few paintings I'd like to put up in galleries, and just for the public people to see, and
Well, there's, I mean, really close here in the city. We've got Joji Gallery, and we've got Megan Dickinson Gallery. So I mean, there's options available locally to show that up, and it'd be amazing to have that on the walls. And so, are you from Whangarei or?
Oh, I was born in Whangarei.
Yep.
So my mum is from New Zealand, but I've been traveling because of my dad's job, because my dad is French.
Yep.
So we've been traveling all around the world since I was 2.
Yep.
So we left New Zealand when I was 2, and been traveling all around the Middle East. We lived in Saudi Arabia for 6 years.
Yep.
And then we lived in Dubai. We lived in Dubai for a bit.
Yep.
And then we moved to Morocco, and we lived there for 4 years.
Wow.
And we came back when I was 15, and I finished high school.
So it's like 13 years of your life. What was that like, being a young person? You know, being raised in the Middle East cultures.
Oh, it's different. It's a very, very different world, different culture. It's a lot of I don't know. It's just a very alternative place to New Zealand, which was all right. I was raised by my parents who were from here, and they had that kind of culture from here.
Yeah.
So so coming back here, it didn't feel like I was like too foreign, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
did you learn Arabic?
Oh, I could speak a little bit of Arabic. Just go into the shops, basic, just go and get groceries sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I couldn't speak it like fully, fluently.
So you can speak French as well?
Yes, I can speak French as well, fluently.
Yeah. So that's what amazes me about other cultures, is that you can you speak French because your dad's French. You can speak English, and you've also learned Arabic. And I find it quite interesting that like a lot of people are quite lazy in wanting to learn other languages, because they think if all I need to know is English. But I mean, I've got a niece who's learning how to dance in Chinese, because you find that like with business, and if you want, you know, with yourself, you want to exhibit overseas and stuff, you'd have to learn other cultures and how they work.
That's true.
And you'd have to learn their language, and you'd be going, they'll be going, well, you can't have an exhibition in this gallery, but in that one, and you go, why? And you go, well, this is the rules of the place that you're at. And so I find that quite interesting that, you know, the more we learn about other cultures, the more we actually appreciate our own. And, yeah, so you've been back here for the last, what, 6 years? And
Yep, that's it.
And so you've been in high school here?
Yes, I got back when I was in year 10, or halfway through year 10, and finished high school and went to NorthTec.
Yeah.
My last year at NorthTec now, so...
So graduation's happening in a couple of weeks?
Yes, it's on the 14th.
Excellent.
14th of November.
All right, guys, if you want to see G's work, I can't pronounce his name properly, so I'm not going to try. Guillaume's work, and so that's it on the 14th?
Yes.
And before you, yeah, like a pre-showing before you actually get to the exhibition. And I think this is the cool thing. I mean, I remember being part of an exhibit way back in '95 at NorthTec. It wasn't called NorthTec back then, it was called Northern Polytech, and was part of that. That diploma year was '95 for me. So, yeah, get out and support our students, because I think, you know, when you don't support, then there's no appreciation and you don't understand what's going on and you don't actually see work, and therefore when people go, I'm an artist, you go, well, what do you do? You know, but if you go to the shows and you see it, then you'll see what they do, and then you'll appreciate it a bit more when you actually see it exhibited later on in life. I'm going to play a song now and give ourselves a bit of a breather, and then we'll come back with another student of Jade's, and this is Deftones with No One to Love, one of my favorite Sade songs.